Hey Libra, I've been sitting here waiting to push record, and I realized I wasn't really taking deep breaths for a while. So take a few really deep breaths. In through your nose and fill your belly until you feel like the Buddha statue. Obviously exhale. Just hold it as long as you can. There's a song that's been playing in my head since I was doing the last reading, but it had nothing to do with the last reading. It's from Freya Writings, called Ultraviolet. I'm hearing it in my mind now, especially the part where she keeps saying, "You're reading all of me. You see what they don't see." Something that was keeping you from seeing a friend of yours or a ex is being changed. Something's being broken through. Weird. This is like the Gemini reading in different cards. Leaving something behind after communication that took strength. And waiting for someone or something, or going within to look for someone, but having finally the wisdom to know that that person is inside you already. Strange. So this ties into the Gemini reading somehow. Is that just, do we keep this? This is weird. Okay, so if this applies to you, an obstacle, definitely watch the Gemini reading, but an obstacle that was in your way that kept you from seeing or hearing somebody very important to you is being removed through a massive downpouring of energy given to you from the universe. Like, not only are obstacles being broken through, the fog is clearing, you're seeing things clearly, things are being illuminated. Nature itself is blooming at your feet at the amount of energy given to you in order to bring this reconciliation and reunion to place. This could be more than just two people. It could be a husband and a wife getting back together with, a friend or a neighbor, or, mother-in-law issues or something. Like two people coming together while another person joins them. It's like a group of friends, like almost four people. You can even look at it as the four elements. There's silver, green, white, and red over here. There's been harmonies coming, and it has been gained through a process of separation, which two people looked at each other from a distance and didn't really communicate. They kept what they saw to themselves, which helped them learn how to communicate with the other person in their own way. Like, the communication lines are opening up because of the separation that occurred. Because energy isn't just about energy, you're doing something with the energy. It's being broken, a block is being broken through. By the full moon, you're going to be totally happy and like as if you're the pot of gold under the rainbow, or that this thing that this experience that occurs and it's occurred because two people really learned something. And if this is just about yourself, you've really gone through something alone while you had a friend back you up. And in this process, you've started to second guess what your friend has been telling you. So you've been using the energy granted to you to really go within and communicate with your inner self, your inner child, to see that you really didn't need healing. You need passion and a reason to live. You need to get your shit together and not have terrible habits. Like, can you imagine this person being at a restaurant? Like, lady, can you tell your lion to not roar at everybody? You know, this subconscious inner child behavior that was acting out. This fire in the background is almost like the fire in the back of the Queen of Wands card in the Gemini reading. This is so much like that. Anyway, if this is about you and someone else, things are going to be better than you think. Really. And if this is just about you, sorry. Shift the camera. If this is just about you, then congratulations, you've united your subconscious, your inner child, your future self into this harmony of a whole person. Look, Maiden, Mother, Crone. Your physical side leaving with the transformed side of you. You can look at this and spiritually, and you know, the goddess coming to save you. So your feminine energy awoke and got you out of the stupid shit you were doing. Or the masculine energy came in and enlightened your trampy female behavior. You know, whether you were receiving too much or giving too much, or something was too much. The strength card always shows an overcoming of lower behavior. You've learned to tame your subconscious. You're basically creating your reality. And the universe is giving you this massive amount of breakthrough energy and internal illumination that is helping you see things in a really clear way. You have only friends in the world. Even the people you thought were hurting you, they're willing to pour their own cups out just to see you smile. Like, these people really love you. All the fears, all the lies, all the illusions, all of that negative talk that had you going off on your own over here, you know it means nothing. Look at this face, this person here. She is completely unbothered by this gift from the universe. She's like, I don't want it. But you know you do. And in order for this energy to exist, it means there's arrogance within someone. Which is what I was saying about the Queen of Wands. There's something you have that can bring so much balance into your life. But in order to get it, you have to put your immaturity behind you. Which means really humbling yourself and apologizing. Or accepting the apology. I mean, she's not accepting anything and she's not saying anything. But if they did, everything would be fine. It's almost as if they're listening to their inner dialogue instead of what the right thing to do is. Because they're both looking right. She's looking right. She's looking right. The boat's going right. She's looking on the floor. She's looking on the floor. They just came from the right direction. And this one's like, yo, if you'd stop looking on the floor, you'd see this amazing opportunity behind you to leave your bullshit behind. All you gotta do is be nice. Because you don't get to be this age and while you're a douchebag. You get to be this age because you're wise as a serpent and you have inner illumination and you can manipulate the forces of nature without controlling them. You know where you came from, you know where you're going, you have it internally recorded into your heart. You have your own family and legacy and your own tree of life. And the fog around you means nothing. You're like Gandalf the White. Who cares about fog? You can put stones together like this. That's how wise you are internally. And you're acting like some weather reporter. Oh, yeah. But they did this. Yeah, but if you look that way, you know, your life gets a lot better. And that way includes communication from a page part of you, a humble inner child part of you. That's what pages are. It's your inner self, it's your inner dialogue. Don't be mad at me. Don't Knight of Swords me, Libra. Okay, can we get one more for Libra, please? Because that was specific for a Libra dealing with a Gemini, or a Gemini involved with a Libra. And this is very specific because I'm seeing two twins. Like, I'm seeing, it's weird because it looks like Greek gods. There's Aphrodite and someone like Cupid. Like, I guess it's Aphrodite and Cupid next to each other. I mean, this person has wings and a bunch of hearts all around him, and then there's Aphrodite next to him. And then there's like this naughty person who's holding these scales of balance, and they're like darker looking, but they're totally fair. And then there's like the Gemini's alter ego, like Aphrodite's alter ego on the other side of the scales. And they're arguing back and forth. Like, what the drama you've come up with, and the drama I've had to translate through these two readings is so absurd. Like, the problem that this Gemini and this Libra are dealing with is like a librarian face palming in a library. Like, what had to happen for a librarian to face palm? That's how insignificant this problem is between these two people. And the outlook of what they're going through is so much better if they would just communicate. And these two people have come up so much in all the readings I've done. So much. It's like a TV show that's been playing in my being, and I'm seeing it, and I see how the story ends, and I'm looking at the story, and I don't know all the details. See? Sorry. And I'm seeing all the details, but they're just not doing this. They're doing this. Like, that one's with the cup over there, this one's with the cup over there, and we're like, oh, where's my soulmate? Like, behind you, bitch. Turn around. Stop being arrogant. The Gemini is all like talking with its inner self, saying, you know, the other twin is backing up the other twin, so they're both like internally smack talking the Libra. And the Libra thinks that the Gemini is with other people, but the Gemini is just having a bipolar episode within itself. And the Libra is having a complete, you know, judge, jury, executioner in its own state, thinking of what this Gemini is doing. And I'm watching this internally play out as if it's aspects of myself, and I'm going, why don't they just get along? Like, if one of them would just talk louder than the other one's subconscious, all of this would be fine. And usually, just FYI, the Libra, in my humble opinion, is more likely to be the one to bring logic to the chaotic mind of a Gemini. They're very distinct energies. Gemini is very, it can be very youthful and like a completely high vibe, bubbly teenage kid. Or it can be the wisest, most stealthy ninja hermit that goes into the depths of reality and gets everything and communicates it with every place and survives through anything. But when these two sides aren't communicating peacefully, all you get is complete self-defensive behavior, as if the wind itself is attacking you with how intense the breeze is. And it's not just a breeze from one direction, no, it's a breeze from two directions at once. Like you're getting pushed from your back, and then you're getting, you know, swept from your ankles from left and right with the wind itself, nothing else. And Libra will just analyze and weigh the once a Libra is done deciding, it's done. And that's the flaw of the Libra. It's like case closed. No, it's not case closed yet, ditz. Like that's your if this was a video game, your class, the Libra class, the flaw, the character flaw of the race is that it cuts things so off that it doesn't realize what it missed out on. To the point where the Libra doesn't even evolve or grow as much because it's supposed to surpass this default setting of hot and cold, black and white, yes, no, past, present, future, blank, cut, done. Like, no, that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to flow. So when a Gemini and a Libra are in any way elementally involved or energetically involved, ooh, you have to bring in a rationality, which is only brought through emotion. And if both of them don't have an open heart, then they deal with the Queen of Wands energy, which was in the Gemini reading. This sense of arrogance of how much you've endured and how much power you have and then how much you can do means that person means nothing to you. But with that person, you wouldn't be that arrogant. You would be a calmer, humbler person, which terrifies the ego. So the ego makes up all of this shit to get you away from the person who would bring you to a more authentic or best version of yourself. It's self-sabotage, and the wind does it to itself by spinning it in place. So, Libra, if you're this person dealing with somebody who's very bipolar or dualistic or just a basic Gemini, I mean, it could even be a Pisces, okay? And the Libra could maybe be a more, God, the only other sign I know that can be this hot and cold and this savagely cutting people off is a Leo. And I don't mean that just from personal experience, but yeah, as a Leo trait, the fire sign itself, it's very, imagine this in this way because this is how I see it. If you're a lion with a pride, and you're in the savannah, the jungle, you're the king of the jungle, right? And the jungle you're in burns to a crisp because the lion experienced something so terrible that it burned the environment it was in and the scene it knew and the memory it knew. It just burned it so that it only remembered it in the form of ashes. Then this lion is never ever ever in some way gonna look back and be like, that was a great experience. That lion has moved to a new jungle to claim in its new way because its flaw is that it doesn't have the patience to turn around and look back at the destruction to see what has grown from that destruction. It just wants to burn through everything and move forward and then remain stuck somewhere again until that place burns to a crisp. Because that's what the sun does. That's what a family does. Family moves into a house and drains that house or creates a massive empire from that house, and then they expand or move. But that base home will only really be a memory, because wherever they are, they move from there. And while they're there, they beautify that home perfectly to where it's the most glorious lion's palace you've ever seen. But they know that they'll move. They won't like it, but the only way they will move is if their empire expands, so they get to keep that house and the one in the Hamptons. Then the lion will do it. Otherwise, lion feels like it's doing somebody a favor. That's Leo energy. That's what that is. And if you're not careful with the Queen of Wands type of person, You can bring out the worst in them and yourself. But that only occurs when you don't forgive and move forward and communicate. All the reading from the Libra and the Gemini was about these people not looking at each other as evolved. They were looking at each other as you did this and I did that and everybody did this, and they weren't seeing who they are now. And this has been going on for a lot of readings I've done. And I really wish these two people the best, because it's so sad. And I don't want to say that it's sad, but it is. Because these two people are missing out on such a magnificently divine connection. They don't even know. They have no idea. Like, the way I've seen it is these people create a massive, globally known name. Like, if you were building if you were writing a book, this book would be a #1 world bestseller, and everybody would know that you were that person that wrote that book. If you got through something and then you shared your story, everybody would know that it was you that brought it to the attention of the world. That's this kind of relationship. That's why there's so much hesitation between them, because something massive would happen and they're both not ready to let go of this sense of, I'm right and you're wrong. No matter what you do, you'll never be as right as I am. And it's not right at all for that person in that way to be that way, because they're keeping their souls stuck, which means they're going to have to re-experience this experience again and again and again until they figure it out, because it's an energetic imprint. It's a soul fragment the soul needs. When trauma occurs, the soul fragments. A piece of you gets lost in that moment. That's why you don't remember things clearly. So when you have a proper shaman or a proper person help you, or you learn the techniques yourself properly, then you reintegrate those fragments and things can continue better on a proper timeline. But if you continuously cut things off and burn things to the ground and play, Ice Queen, or constantly deal with lower vibration energies, then you're just messing with yourself. And you're avoiding possibly beautiful experiences, because these two people, oh my God, if they made clothing, they would be the #1 clothing in all the stores. If they grew a forest, the entire world would be completely, what's that word? When you promote something, when you perpetuate something, when you do something and someone else wants to do it too, but not in a bad way, in a good way. When you, whatever, if you grew a food forest, everybody else would want to do it and replicate it, and maybe not copy it, because everybody would do it themselves in their own way. But it would be a thing. Like, there would be food forests everywhere. Like, if 10 people, watching this in some decade, whenever, were like, oh, we're going to grow a food forest and I wanted this person with me, oh my God, then please do it. Please do it. If you want to open a library, if you want to open a shelter for homeless, or if you want to buy a bunch of buildings and open them up for people to live in for cheap rent, but have it actually be a high class kind of a place for them, so people can get their shit together and realize they can manifest better. So if you want to be that kind of a person who does amazing work so that the law of attraction can't ever default into a negative state again, can you imagine that? Can you even imagine that? To have the least vibratory way of living be even where your toilet is made out of gold. In a, in a housing development unit thing, where even the slums and the whatever areas of the third world countries are completely high vibe. Everything's unique, everything's authentic, everything's, pure to its own self. So there's no homogenization of things. And everybody's just realizing and grateful and abundant and prosperous because they see everything they could have. And then the world we lived in becomes this thing of, you know, the poster child for how life shouldn't be. That's how big this connection can get if these two people actually learn to communicate with each other, because it's like water and fire mixing. And if they can't do it, then other relationships will continue to experience the pain and trauma until one of them eventually figures it out and the world heals because of this trauma being healed within the soul group. So it's big. It's not small for this Gemini and Libra people, the soul group of these two people. And really, I wish you guys the best. I didn't even like do these other cards. Libra, please. Oh, jeez. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're moving into a connection with this gate card. And you know with your own intuition and the energies and the information that's been brought to you from the higher realms and your higher self that you have to go through this gate. And this gate is the gate of forgiveness and communication, because it's blue and white, of starting over, of a new beginning, something you don't know how it will turn out, but you know it's better than where you were. Even if it's with somebody who was this negative, nasty, malicious, gossiping, vile person, trust that the universe has taken care of it and move forward. Because the more you acknowledge this energy, the more it takes from you, the more it has to feed off of. So if it's an addiction, if it's drinking, if it's promiscuity, if it's negative self-talk, if it's negative hygiene habits, if it's basically the way you sit when you're sitting and it's just detrimental to you to the point where it's crushing your organs because you slouch too much. You know, it's something that really, really hurts you in a way that's more than just your physical body. Because your physical body is a representation of your energy systems. Yes, your body is sacred, but it is being affected by energy. And this is the energy of sickness. Not just like physical sickness, but energetic, emotional, psychic sickness, to where you're attracting situations in your life which are constantly having you move through situations you don't want to be in. So you're being given this opportunity this week to move forward. But in order to move forward, you have to act like the crone, the hermit, the empress, the emperor, the high priestess. You have to bring that energy of you are trusting the universe. This time you don't know better, the universe knows better, and you have to allow the universe to give to you so that you can move through this gate and away from this darkness in your life. Because this darkness in your life doesn't exist anymore. That darkness in your life has shifted. It's been in all these other readings. So however it applies to you, be aware that whatever darkness you have used as an excuse or a justification of why you can't do something, be something, or be with someone, time has healed. The universe has healed, and things are different only and only if you can be different as well. Because if you're still holding on to that, then you're energetically forcing the other person to hold on to the pain as well. So once you release the pain, the other person is released from the pain too, and you can move forward together. Sorry, the deck was upside down. It's not a reverse deck, reverse card. The worst is over. The rainbows are here again. Another rainbow. The rainbow has been in all three readings. Allow yourself to trust the universe and know that it has your back. That even if you have to carry somebody for a while, or to be really comforting to them and really gentle and graceful to them because they've been through a lot, then it's your responsibility as the mature one to, not just as the mature one, but as the one who knows better. Despite what pain's going on, despite what happened, despite what worst thing you could have imagined or could imagine or whatever, you know deep in your heart, and again, this looks like the cape of the Page of Swords in the other reading. You know in your heart, in your vulnerable, open, unguarded heart, that you and this person bring out the best in each other. You can't have a relationship without problems, and if you can get through the problems and come through better for it together, then babe, you have no problems whatsoever. Really, 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 it's such a bittersweet feeling knowing that people are so hurt that they can't let go of something. Because if you would let go of the pain, you'd realize you can have what it is you want that you're in pain over. But as long as you're holding on to the pain, you're holding on to the contract, pattern, and deal that has been made before this incarnation to be in pain. So when you release the pain and hold on to the full spectrum of your experience with this person, you'll see that your contracts, deals, and agreements change as well. You don't have to have a negative association with someone. You can have a new association with someone, a new beginning, to see them in a new way. But in order to do that, you have to move through the gate of your inner being and how you are. A version of you must stop being the version you are in order for you to see the truth of the situation without your human perception on it. You have to look at things as a divine being. You have to look at them as unconditional love. You can't look at them as a human with a contract and issues and notes and tap, 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 tap. You can't look at them like that. You have to look at them as this new person, again with this rebirth card. This person went through the 5, a whole shit ton of chaos and pain to come out better. And they did it because they held on to the hope that they can improve the situation between them. You, Libra, your entire soul group, I truly, deeply, if I could share with you how happy you would be when you let go of the pain that you've been holding on to, which contributes to you feeling negatively about someone. Imagine if I didn't like somebody because of the car they drove. You know, just a superficial. Or if I didn't like somebody because they got me fired at a job, or, you know, somebody stole my Cheerios. Whatever situation that they did, if I don't release that from me and allow myself to be a person that doesn't exist based on what the other person did and my response to it, I move through this gate of energy into a new expression of myself. And that expression is one of wisdom and knowing within me, knowing that all of us are connected. It's an entire pattern and deal that we're here to do, to help each other break through the worst of what we've experienced to be the best of ourselves, which means we're going to fuck up all the time. And who is anyone to be so unforgiving to anyone else, to say, no, you've done something that makes me be less of a god to you? Ooh, that felt so harsh. I'm sorry. But it's true. Don't belittle yourself just to let someone else feel punished by you. Don't take yourself from the Aphrodite into the Lilith expression of yourself just to be like, see how much you hurt me? Don't do that. Like, they know how much they hurt you. You know how much they hurt you. You both know. So why don't you move forward into a new stage? Because the only reason you had is because of what happened. And if what happened is being forgiven and released so you can move forward into a new contract, then there is no problem, which means you have to put your ego aside and actually move forward and open your heart and be humble. To know that you can't hold something against this person anymore. This person's free of your judgment. Your case closed on this person is irrelevant now. That was done and over with. Now you're dealing with a completely new person that really, really, really is the best and will continue to be the best. So it's kind of comical in a sad way from my point of view looking at this, because the person holding a grudge looks like a clown to the person that has completely changed. Maybe because it's just irrelevant. Like you're holding a mask of judgment in front of yourself regarding somebody that doesn't exist anymore. This new version of them is the best version of them that you knew then. So it's like somebody went in and edited the contract you had with this person to bring out the best of it. And in order for you to experience this best contract with this person, you have to let go of who you've been and go to who you aren't. So just for a moment, your worst enemy, how would you feel that energy of blockage? You feel it, right? Thinking of someone as your enemy creates a block within you. It's like an energetic shield. Put that away and imagine you're hugging them. That everything's fine and you're hugging them. The birds are singing, you're both breathing, you can feel each other's heartbeats next to each other. It's both a trusting hug, both arms wrapped around each other completely. And you're just breathing. It feels so much better than feeling like you have an enemy. Libra. Ooh. I feel like I just gave therapy to a couple. I need a break. Anything else for Libra? Oh my God. The King of Wands. Libra, please go watch the Gemini reading. Please. Oh my God. Come on. The King of Wands is waiting for his Queen of Wands. He knows it's going to take a while, and he's extending an apology to the Queen of Wands to reunite and share each other's cups yet again. Because time, regardless of being an illusion, still affects life. And do you really want to waste your life not accepting that people can go from the Maiden to the Crone? And the mother was was the Queen of Wands in the other cup that I was talking about, or the Strength card too. So here you go. How synchronistic and serendipitous. This relationship you're in, the more you avoid it, the more it comes right back to you. Do you see this? Even when you walk away, you sit there thinking, was that the right thing to do? And you start communicating again to go back to this person because you see, there she is, the mother. Mother, Maiden, Crone. This person's your life partner, Libra. Whatever issues you have, get over it. Learn to forgive. Evolve as a human being. Evolve as a god or a goddess. Don't be this person who leaves the ability to forgive out of their spiritual resume. And not just forgive, but to forgive and to move forward hand in hand with true forgiveness. I mean, I've forgiven some people for some things that have been completely unforgivable to most people. And if I hadn't forgiven them, I would have missed out on some of the best relationships in my life. All because some, Betty Crocker character is all like, I can't forgive all that. Like, mind your business. Let people figure out their relationships on their own. And the guidance they go and get, let it be for them in their highest good. Because I can't go to my friends or neighbors and tell them what to do because it's not applicable to them. The universe has to tell them, either through me or through their own experiences. And the universe guides your highest self, your true selves. The energies in these readings for the past two, Gemini and Libra, man, really though. Okay, let's do a goddess card. Thank you for reminding me if you did. Because, okay, this was the card in the last one, okay? It was about miracles and impossible causes. If you not just follow your heart, but follow the path of the bee. The bee was on the heart of her. So what does a bee do? It doesn't work just for the day it's in. It works for the hive, the colony, the connection, the matriarchal energy. It's a sisterhood. It's a family. It's connections. It's rebirth. It's everything. It's working in nature and the harmony and all of that goody gumdrops. Fatima. Wow, she's pretty. The mother of imams. Love is my lineage and